right, we are ready for set number 11 with our vocabulary words. So this video is just to quickly review what the words mean, the definitions, give you some examples of those. You're welcome to watch this video at any time to review. We won't take the quiz for 2 weeks, so we have until next Friday to study these. And we'll make sure that you guys have you'll have access to this Quizlet page where you've got the flashcards and the games. The quiz is where you can practice that, and then eventually we'll do a Kahoot to practice that as well. Also, I've seen a few people in some classes making their own flashcards, so they get like index cards and make their own. If that's something that you would like to do, I'm all for that, any way that you can be studying. And if you actually need index cards to be able to create those, just let me know and I'm happy to make sure that you guys have some of those to work on that. So our first word is accelerate, and accelerate just means to go or cause to go faster, not factor. If you're accelerating, so like if you're putting your foot on the gas of a car, it's accelerating, it's going quicker and quicker. Or to accelerate a process might mean to bring about at an earlier time. So if you're speeding up or accelerating the process to something, that means you're just getting there quicker than you would normally. Altitude, it's a height above sea level or the Earth's surface. So if you've ever been on an airplane, sometimes they'll tell you the altitude that they're flying. Birds would have a specific altitude. So for example, like a robin would fly at a lower altitude than a hawk, right? The bigger birds normally tend to fly up a little bit higher. So altitude just meaning how high above the Earth's surface something is. Anxious. Anxious means feeling worried or concerned. Sometimes anxious, I feel like when we hear anxious, we normally think it's a negative thing. That's the worried or concerned side. But anxious can also just mean like eager or wishing strongly. Maybe you're anxious to get to Saturday, or you're anxious to get to your game. It doesn't have to necessarily be a negative thing, but it's just, that worried, those butterflies in your stomach kind of feeling. Brace. Brace has several meanings. So brace might mean to make stronger by giving support to. So you might brace yourself. So like hold on tight. Maybe if you're on a roller coaster, you might brace yourself against the seat bar that goes over your lap, right? So to make stronger by giving support to or bracing someone else. So maybe if you've ever competed in a sport, maybe you have somebody that's like spotting you. I know that happens a lot in like cheerleading and gymnastics, right? It might mean to make ready or for a shock or to prepare. That's more of the roller coaster, kind of like bracing yourself for something to happen. But it also could mean something used to support a weak part. So like in our picture, right, you could wear a foot brace, an ankle brace, a knee brace, an elbow brace, right? It's really just trying to make something stronger to support. Confident goes right with brace. Certain, sure. So if you're confident in something, that means that you feel good about it. If you have a confidence, maybe we all have confidence in something, right? There's always something that we feel confident about, that we're good at. We all have our own strengths, right? So confidence it's also something that's difficult to have, right? It's something that there's probably something that we all struggle to have confidence in. So just being sure, certain of something. Contact can mean lots of different things. So the touching or joining of two things. So if you make contact with the pencil and your paper, right? The touching of two things. The condition of being in communication with others. So if I reach out to contact someone, that means that I'm trying to connect with communication, or just to communicate. So when I send out a weekly email to your parents, I'm communicating with them, I'm contacting them. Oh, one more thing with contact. You might also think the contacts that go in your eyes, this is a different type of contact. So these aren't the things that help us see. Although contacts do make contact with your eyes, right? So maybe that's a way that you could remember that one. Exult. What a fun word. To be joyful, to show great happiness. Exaltation might be a word that you've heard, maybe even in a Christmas carol. Sometimes we'll hear that word if you are someone that goes to church. Sometimes they'll use the word exalt to be joyful for, right? Maybe you are exalting the fact that it's the end of the day, right? So just to be joyful, to show great happiness. A hangar. So this hangar is not like the one that you put your clothes on in the closet. This is a building where aircraft are kept and repaired. So an airplane hangar, you may have heard that term before. It's almost like a big garage for an airplane. Maximum. I'm sure we've all heard this in some way. It's the greatest or highest number or amount, or being the greatest or highest number or amount. So the maximum amount of kids we could have in class, right? The maximum amount of candy you should have. We talked about that when we talked about the different types of chocolate, right? So the greatest or the highest amount of something. Methodical. I love this word. Methodical means done in a regular or orderly way. So I might be methodical about the way that I ask you guys to get in line and line up for lunch or recess or specials. I might be methodical in the way that I plan my lessons. I have a specific way that I plan my lessons, right? Maybe you're methodical about something. Maybe your bedtime routine is very methodical. Maybe before you go to bed, you do the exact same things every time. Maybe you're methodical about playing a specific game. Maybe there's a video game or a board game that you like to play and you're very methodical about it. So doing it in a very orderly way. Nonchalant. I also like this word a lot. So nonchalant means having the appearance of not caring or seeming to show a lack of concern. So if you're doing something in a nonchalant way, you're doing it in a way where somebody be like, they don't really care. So maybe if you were nonchalantly cleaning up your room, you're just picking up a shirt and kind of throwing it over to the side. Or if you are nonchalantly typing something, right? You're not looking at all of the letters as you're typing through those. So just having this appearance, it looks like you're not really caring about what you're doing. Proceed means to go on, especially after stopping for a while, or to continue. So if you stopped playing a game and then you pick the game back up, then you're proceeding with the game. Or maybe it gets to the end of class and you didn't finish an assignment, and then you get back into class tomorrow, and then you proceed with assignment. You continue going. Saunter. It's to walk without hurrying, to stroll in a relaxed or unhurried manner, a relaxed or unhurried walk. So if we went back to nonchalant, if you were nonchalantly walking down the hallway, you were probably sauntering down the hallway. So just going, maybe trying to think of where you would be going. Maybe you are heading to clean your room. Maybe somebody at home has told you that you need to clean your room and you're not really wanting to get there in quite a hurry. So maybe you're sauntering down the hallway in your home to go clean your room. Solo. Solo means several things. First off, it could be a musical piece for one voice or a single instrument. So if you are the only person singing the song, that's a solo. Or maybe in the middle of a song, they have a specific singer that sings by themselves. That would be a solo. Or even a guitar solo, right, in a song, or a drum solo in a song. So a musical piece for just one voice or a single instrument. Or made or done by one person. When we think of solo, we probably think of somebody on their own or alone. To fly alone, especially for the first time. So like you could take a solo flight. If you've ever heard of Amelia Earhart, she took a solo flight. It always makes me, and maybe this is nerdy of me, but it makes me think of Han Solo from Star Wars, right? Whatever is the best way for you to remember it. Solo just means by themselves, right? It's something for one person or one thing. And stall. Stall could mean lots of things if you already noticed. So a place for an animal in a barn. Maybe, there's a stall for horses or cows or goats. It could also mean a small stand or booth where things are sold. So if you were to think of, it has like the picture over here, right? Like a little stand that you might buy something. Maybe you've been to even like a carnival or something like that. They might have a stall where they sell something like lemonade shake-up, something specific, right? It could also mean to suddenly lose power or to stop. So if there's a stall in the electricity, right, you might lose power. To delay by being invasive. This one is the strangest definition, I feel like, but probably the one that we use this for the most often. So if you're stalling time, maybe you really don't want to go do something, so you ask a million questions. Maybe, unfortunately, some of us say, well, I need to go to the bathroom, even though we don't have to go to the bathroom. You're stalling time, so you're not wanting to do the assignment that you're supposed to be doing in class, right? So lots of definitions for the word stall as well. that is the end of our vocabulary words. Again, you can always look back at this video. You've got lots of ways to study. You have 2 weeks until we're going to take our vocabulary quiz, so do it to it.